Climbing! Oh, it's nice to finally be moving.
So here I am going up on the second pitch of Man on the Mountain. The climb is called Fortress of Solitude, and I'm following my buddy Luke, who already led the climb. I'm just going up behind him
Oh,
now and going to be
beautiful.
cleaning the quick draws as I head up. My buddy Ilgin is down below me, and once I make it to the top of the pitch,
Oh,
then he's going to
so
take over and
nice.
start climbing up.
Oh, big loose rock.
It's important to always check the rocks that you're climbing on to make sure that they're not loose. If I were to grab onto a loose rock and pull on it with my full weight, it might pop off and fly on below me and maybe even hit Ilgin, which would not be good. As you can see here, I'm disattaching the quick draws from the rock because I wouldn't be able to progress past it with my rope still attached to it. To store it, I just throw it onto my gear loop on my harness and continue up. So my green rope is still attached to Luke, and as I climb up the pitch, he's going to be pulling the green rope up, keeping me on belay and making sure that I'm safe at all times. He's not doing a great job right now, as you can see by some of the slack in the system, but I was pretty confident of my ability to climb, because as you can see here, I'm looking around, taking in the view, and basically just enjoying my time. At this point, I'm completely able to stand up, and I'm approaching what we thought was the crux of the pitch and also the entire route at the time. We thought that this was going to have the most difficult moves in the entire 5 pitches of climbing that we were doing today, so I was pretty nervous about getting up to this section. In this part of the climb, I'm trying desperately to put my hands anywhere to try to find a good ledge or something to grab onto. I'm struggling to find something, but after a little bit more work and better footwork, I was able to find something to get me up.
Thank you. Where are my exit jugs? Oh, there we go. Ow, fucking bumped my leg.
Here, I'm looking for the exit jugs and basically finding my way out of the pitch. My buddy Luke is right above me, and I'm about to become secure and clip into the anchor point.
Bit of a mantle. Bit of an undercling. 1 second, give me some slack. Just a tiny bit. Bit above the bolt. Got it, yep. God damn, buddy. Good job on that crux.
Good one.
Yeah, not too bad. Had to feel around a little.
I think 5.8 plus might be a little high.
I can see that, yeah.
Like maybe like a hard 5.7 hard, easy 5.8.
Yeah, probably not plus.
Yeah. Alright, I'll let you hit it. I'll hold you.
Yeah, hold me for one second.
Yeah, and I'll open this up for you. Or do you want to go to the shelf where I am?
Probably to the shelf.
There you go.
On secure.
You might have heard me and Luke talking about 5.6s and 5.7s and 8s, and basically we were just talking about the difficulty of the climb. As you can see here while I'm looking up, we're coming across the money shot of the climb, so to say, and we're starting to realize that the hard part was not below, but above. And I just signed up to be the one that leads the next pitch, basically giving me first dibs on trying the hardest moves in the climb. The river behind me is the Humber River in Corner Brook, Newfoundland, and we're currently climbing the Man on the Mountain, which is the name of the mountain, and the climb is called Fortress of Solitude.
We're about to hit it. Clicked in.
Yep.
Automatic. Thumb loop forward.
Over the rope.
Your side is good. What is it? 3. Cool.
It looks like you're going to need a lot of bolts for this one.
Yeah, maybe whenever it's easy in this first part, I might skip one.
I would skip 1 or 2, bro, because I think you need the 2 alpines, but I'm not sure. Climb on. You got your camera on?
Yep.
Good.
So you heard Luke asking me to skip a couple draws, which means that as I'm lead climbing up, I'm gonna not place a couple of my quick draws and clip the rope in, which is gonna increase the danger of falling, but I'm only gonna do this at times where I feel super secure and know that I'm not gonna fall. The reason why we had to do this was just because we didn't have enough gear. and I wanted to make sure I made it to the top of the pitch with more than enough rather than getting to the hard parts of the climb and realizing I'm running out of quick draws. The beginning of this pitch started off relatively slabby, so it was in cut and I was leaning in towards the wall, and it wasn't too difficult to start off with. That's why I was skipping draws. In this part, I felt pretty comfortable and pretty relaxed, but I was just making sure to breathe and collect myself mentally before I stepped up to the actual challenge of the large, overhanging dihedral that I was approaching. So at this point, you've seen me clip a couple of quick draws. Essentially, I'm putting my rope into the quick draws to attach it to the wall so that if I were to fall, that'd be the last piece of protection holding me up. This is what happens whenever you aren't efficient at clipping your quick draws, where I had the most egregious mess up and was barely able to get my rope through the quick draw. You don't want to do that every time, because if you're tired and holding on with one hand, you could easily slip while you're not able to place the quick draw, and that could result in a much larger fall than you were hoping to take. It's at this point in the climb that I'm chalking up, catching my breath, and getting ready, because the dihedral that I mentioned earlier, which is basically more or less just a corner that the wall creates, is right in front of me, and I'm about to approach the overhanging portion where my body's going to be tipped upwards a little bit, and I'm going to have to use more of my arms while I'm climbing. Because of the way the terrain is shaped, it's going to be more tiring on me physically and definitely mentally as well, because I'm going to have to continue clipping and protecting myself while I'm making all of these movements.
Fucking hell.
Here I was having trouble clipping, not because Luke, my belayer, was doing anything wrong, but just because below me, the rope was starting to get pretty stretched out, so it was getting a lot heavier. So to pull it up, it was taking a lot more force, and this was not the time that I wanted to be spending any extra energy. This next part of the climb will haunt me for many years because it's at this point that I had a little bit of trouble clipping and got my hand stuck in the quick draw while I was trying to make the clip. I was so nervous in this moment that I was going to mess up and take a massive fall by not clipping properly. So I had to grab onto the rope, help myself out a little bit to get the quick draw in. So I guess I need to come back next season to try to do it again cleanly with no falls, no takes, and no grabbing the rope or quick draws. After catching my breath and calming down from my little quick draw incident, I continued my way up to the exit of the climb. I pretty much messed up on one of the very last moves, and at this point, I was starting to realize that I had just climbed a mountain. Um, Thank you so much to everybody that watched this video, and also to my great buddies Luke and Ilgin for helping make sure that I survived this epic adventure.
It actually still says it has some battery. Fuck, I hope it didn't, like, if it didn't get me doing the crux, I'd be a little upset.
Hey, bro.
Are you okay?
Actually, no, we're fine.
Oh, it got sweaty in there again? No, this camera kind of blows.
Well, you get what you buy for, right?
Yeah, I know. Low battery shutting down.